Hello, hello.
So you were 60 years.
A real boss, they don't talk about their boss, but when the fire comes, they go in on the sneak tip and they go in and rescue stuff, pull stuff out. You hear what I'm saying? So I had to get out of my emotions, right? I was in my emotions, and I had to go like, all right, leave that to C. C make all the decisions. All right, E, from now on, all you worry about is the experience. When people walk in, that's your job. When we get on the phone, make sure you're on the phone. Like, just make sure the experience, right? So here's what happened, eyes. When I realized I was an I was like, ooh, I got the wrong people on the phone. I got people answering phones, and I'm like, ooh, this wrong. Because what happens is they love ET. And when they call, they talking to a D, a S, or a C on the phone, and they're not getting the same experience. They weren't drawn to D, C,
You know?
the S, the C. They were drawn to the I. So I was like, yo, I need to get eyes. So when people call customer care, they get that same warm, fuzzy feeling they got when they were not. I can't be all things to all people, but I can hire eyes that anytime we have to deal with people, I can't have D's dealing with people. D's gonna get the results, but we're gonna lose the client. It's being real, because D ain't gonna worry about how it's being said. And now my client, like, I'm up out of here. So I would literally have clients who would call me like, yo, homegirl, she gotta go. And they weren't saying she gotta go because that she was incompetent. They were saying, I realized what they were saying was she gotta go because she's not you. I don't feel the same way when I talk to her when I feel when I talk to you. Leader, I'm a leader. So if you're an I, write it down. You're not a leader. And,
Come on in class. Come on, class.
Winston Churchill is a leader. Mother Teresa. They lead different. So for all my eyes, I want you to look up a book. It's called
Hello, class. Hello, hello. Good morning. It is 11. So I'm going to give you guys another 5 to 10 minutes. We're going to wait for your classmates to get into the session, and then we'll get going. Right now, make sure you got your phones on mute. It's a lot of you guys in this class, so we don't want everybody's sound getting picked up. So start out on mute. We have time for questions, and you feel free if there's any questions, to talk in the chat. But we will get going in another, 5 minutes or so. We'll let everybody get in the session. All right.
want to change your life, my friends, you got to change your physiology and you got to change your focus.
When you're trying to get wealthy, you want to go all in and it not be a bet. You need to know the space so well that you're like, I know for sure this is going to work.
You can't have a standard education and expect to have an extraordinary life. It's not going to happen. The one breakthrough for all leaders is constant, never-ending improvement. And that means educating yourself and continuing to develop even greater emotional mastery, because that's what affects whether you execute it. The opportunity for self-education is there. We have to change our psychology from, I'm going to do what everybody else does, and I'm mad because it doesn't work anymore, to the reality is this is the greatest time to be alive if you're growing, you're learning, you're educating, and you're developing valuable skills. So instead of complaining, you got to say, where are the skill sets valued in the marketplace? And how do I work harder on myself than anything else? Because if I become more valuable, then I will be able to give more, do more, and change more. I interviewed Warren Buffett, asked the most important investment he ever made in his life. You know what he said it was? I was thinking about the companies he'd done, you know. He said, Tony, go into Dale Carnegie. I said, what? He goes, because by developing myself, that's the most important investment. Those skill sets, learning how to persuade, learning how to speak, learning how to influence, all my ideas would have died on my lips if I hadn't been able to influence, and I learned it from that little course. Most valuable thing I ever did in my life, he said.
Think of this for a moment. You know that every living soul gets exactly the same amount of time? Exactly the same amount of time. Figure it out. You can manage your activity. Make certain that what you're doing really makes a difference. Make certain that you're spending your time on activities that are productive, that are taking you in the direction of your goal.
The traits that make you strange are the gifts that make you special. It's the very things that make you different and make you authentic. And if you don't fit in, I just want to share with you, I've never fit in. And the very nature of anyone who's living a visionary life.
There's a popular quote going around. The person you will be in 5 years is based on the books you read and the people you hang around with today. This is quite true, but it applies to everything else as well. The person you will be in the future is based on everything you do today, the people you hang around, but more so the people you listen to, the opinions you believe, the books you read, or the videos you watch. All the information you take in, positive or negative, will affect your future. The workouts you do or don't do, that will show up in the future. The foods you eat today will affect your future on a visual and energy level. The same is true with your thoughts and information. What you feed your mind will shape your future. If all you do is take in garbage, guess what your future is going to be made up of? Commit to feed your mind with successful thoughts and surround yourself with those who have the same ambition. It doesn't matter where you get your information from. You may read, you may get it from podcasts or videos. It doesn't matter. Just make sure you keep feeding your mind every day. Your future self is begging you to show some discipline. Your future self is begging you not to be like the rest, to learn more than the rest, to work harder and smarter than the rest. Your future self is begging you to do the work now so you can enjoy later. If you don't feed your mind with success, it will rot with mediocrity. What you do every day will dictate your future. What you want out of life, you must put it in. If you want success, put it in there. If you want health and fitness, put it in. If you want peace and happiness, put it in. Your actions will equal your results.
My mind is strong. I am strong. My thoughts are strong. My beliefs are strong. My life is strong. They say I can't. I can. They say I won't. I will. They say I'm not. I am. I am limitless. I am. I am. There's nothing I cannot be. Nothing I cannot do. Nothing I cannot have. In my mind, there are no limits. I am limitless.
All right, all right, all right. Good morning, everybody. I hope you had a great weekend and a good Monday yesterday. I'm Professor Peterson, and this is JOMC 249, Intro to multimedia, thank you for showing up today to class digitally. You didn't have to, but you did, and I appreciate that. If you've been on Blackboard, you may notice that there's nothing up there. All right. Don't hate me for it. For some reason, my Blackboard, I'm having trouble dealing with the IT guys now, where they should be able to upload the video that we had from last week and some of the other content. So bear with me. It's going to be up there. If I can't get it up there today, for sure, just check your email. I may end up sharing the video file with you through Google Drive and working that way somehow. But I will get you the content if we don't get it up on Blackboard. So don't worry about that. I'll get that information to you. Before we get into our lesson, did anyone, because I didn't hear any information from Ms. Wiggins or the department, did anybody hear anything about you guys getting access to Adobe Creative Cloud, your Photoshop, your Lightroom through the school?
No.
No information? Okay. All right. So I didn't either. So again, like I said last week, get that. If you haven't got it, get that. We're diving into a couple of pieces of the software today. Photoshop for sure. A little bit of Lightroom just for your pictures. I'll show you a quick edit on pictures. But the main thing that we'll be going over today is quickly, we're going to start out going over the video of last week real quick, just a quick review of what we discussed in last week's lecture. And then today, we're going to get into basically your design layout and then the content that needs to be in your magazine/article design, which is going to be your first assignment. All right. So let's get it started. All right. I actually have a little something for you. Last class, let me share my computer sound too. Last week, can everybody see my screen? Just give me a yes. One or two.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start the day off here. You don't have to put your sound on so I can hear you. Just make sure you follow along. All right. Just remember, Professor Peterson is big on, speaking life, right? There's power in the tongue. So we want everybody this semester before my class, I want you guys to have a good, a mindset. I want you guys to speak life into your semester. So if your apartment or room or wherever you're at is not too loud, you feel free to say it out loud with the class. If you do got a lot of noise or background, it's okay. Just say it along with me. All right. So student affirmations. Number 1, I can do this college thing. Number 2, I am excited to learn something new today. Okay. I am excited to learn something new today. Number 3, I am capable of being a great student. I am capable of being a great student. All right. Number 4, my ability to learn is improving every day. My ability to learn is improving every day. Okay. Make sure you're saying this with yourself at home. I got a hidden camera in your computer, so I'm grading you if you're not saying it. All right. Number 5, it is okay to ask a question or ask for help. It is okay to ask a question or ask for help. All right. Number 6, I am doing my best. I am doing my best. All right. Especially in this class. This class, you're going to get into design and things of that nature. And, some of us, we think we got a good design eye. Sometimes we don't. Right. But as long as you give your best effort and you get your work in on time, I'm there to work with you. Okay. Number 7, I am grateful. I am in college. I am grateful. I'm in college, which is huge right now, especially with COVID and everything. I for sure thought school was going to be canceled, but it's grateful you guys get a chance to learn. I get a chance to earn money, so we're all good, right? I am on time with all my assignments. I am on time with all my assignments. I can improve my health today. I can improve my health today. And this one is a big one, especially with everything going on, COVID, and a lot of stress going on in life. You know, even if you're not a big gym person, go outside, get some fresh air, go for a walk. You know, you're already walking on campus, so just do a conscious walk for your health. You know, I am courageous. I am courageous. I respect myself and others. I am where I need to be right now. I am where I need to be right now. Everything is possible. Everything is possible. I am not the one who gives up. I can find a solution to any of my problems. I forgive myself for my mistakes. That's huge. I forgive myself for my mistakes. Being different is a good thing. Being different is a good thing. I can help someone else today. I can help someone else today. I do not worry over things that are out of my control. I do not worry over things that are out of my control. And last but not least, I am proud of myself. I made the Dean's List. Let's say that one more time for everybody. I would love to see that. I am proud of myself. I made the Dean's List. Great job, good job, class. Appreciate you for participating. If you did, if you didn't, well, you just short yourself. But oh man, who's that? All right. Good morning. So this is the lecture last week. If you weren't in class, basically what we did, we went through the history of media. We broke down what media is, what multimedia is. We went through the evolution of print, right? So things started back in the day with our ancestors way, way back. We created all language, all writing, hieroglyphs, all that. That's communication. That was a form of communication back in the day. And it has moved on, went to the printing press, basically to everything what you see today, paper, newspaper, printing press, to all the way to, now where we have, digital content, and most of our magazines are digital. Here, this kind of goes over hierarchy, which we're going to touch bases on again today. But just like you learned in, your intro journalism classes, who, what, when, where, why, just like your news stories, just like journalism, the same thing applies when you're creating content on all platforms. All right. As we skim through some more, we're going over the history. Another big part of the presentation, part of your project, is color psychology, right? We briefly went over how color sets moods. A lot of time relates to a lot of energy, a lot of different frequencies. You see here, this is Disney's color wheel, right? The color psychology of Disney characters. And again, it basically sets the tone. Even with your articles and things you design, you want to really be aware of the color combinations that you have and what mood you're trying to set with your content. Here, we just looked at a couple of different layouts, and we'll look at a couple layouts again today. But hierarchy behind the feet, we get to see that. We see the picture, high quality picture. And you see that in these other designs as well, implementing, and we're going to go over that today as far as design layout. And here, we touched again on layout again, and we had our main rules. If there weren't in your notes, the main things we took for that was text to balance ratio, Number 2, only use 2 to 3 fonts, right? Number 3 was the color scheme. All right, number 3 was your color scheme. Number 4 was your white space, right? Or spacing margins. 5 was visual hierarchy, okay? Sizing and high quality images, all right? So those are the main things we're gonna be grading on, along with the vocabulary that we touch on today. Again, we went through, looked at more designs, and then we got into our photography, all right? And in our photography slide, we just talked about the main rule of third, all right? Rule of third. As you can see from this picture here, the rule of third, it shows, you see the grid, The rule of third is basically the human eye doesn't do well with like focusing on the middle when it comes to like photography, videography, unless you really forced the eye to look at the subject in the middle by framing. So the rule of third in videography and photography, you'll notice it when you start watching TVs and a lot of dialogue shots. One person is either on the right side of the screen or the left side of the screen. That's taking advantage of that rule of third, okay? And you see it there in that picture. Symmetry and balance is something we touched on. Viewpoint, background, depth of field. And again, I'm just going through this framing. I'm going through it real quick because this was last week, cropping. Again, it will be on Blackboard. If we can't get it on there, I will send it in the email. One of the key takeaways in this as far as camera operation, if you haven't gotten camera certified yet, you definitely need to do that. But the main things that you need to know as far as working the camera in a manual way is your aperture, ISO, and shutter speed, okay? Aperture, ISO, and shutter speed, those are key to getting the shot you want. One of the things you see here, I wanted you guys to notice that the camera was designed to mimic the human eye, all right? So when you really be able to kind of think about like that, it'll be easier to remember what some of these things do. So the details on that. Now in this class, you all may not be able to check out a camera at the same time, but the great thing about the age that we're living in is that a lot of you guys have 4K cameras right in your hand. If you have an iPhone or certain Androids, you have a high-powered camera in your hand. So with all the projects that we're doing, I've seen students be very successful and create awesome content through their phone. So we did have a short video of shooting with your phone. You want to take advantage of that. And if you use the basic lessons and industry vocabulary that you will learn in this class, you can generate good content on your phone. I mean, there's been independent films that have won film festivals on your phone. So just knowing your basic skills, your basic shot setup, symmetry, balance, framing, all those things that we talked about, you can make some good images. Here was another video just working a DSLR, showing your ISO, aperture in action. All right. Again, you could go back and watch all these things in an iPhone video. And then we kind of had class discussion and things of that nature. So that was last week. Basically, your key takeaways from last week. And let me put myself on the screen just so you guys can see it's me. I think it is. Okay, oh, here we go. Okay. No, I'm not gonna do that.
Composition. In a way, they're the foundation.
All right, move this out the way. Hold on a sec. All right, so today, like I said, we are going to touch base on design, okay? And with design, all right, your main thing you want to put down is layout and composition, okay? Layout and composition. Some of the words and vocabulary that you're going to see in this video is similar to the keywords I had you write down last week, all right? But there's nothing wrong with a refresher, okay? So take notes of this. I'm going to go over and I'm going to stop as we go like I normally do, but take notes and
Of design. They give your work structure and make it easier to navigate, from the margins on the sides to the content in between. Of course, it's not just about working with text. Composition matters in other mediums too, like graphic design, web design, and much more. Without a well-composed layout, your work would basically fall apart. The key to mastering layout and composition is to think like a designer. Luckily, it's easier than it sounds. There are 5 basic principles that can help you train.
All right, So 5 basic principles. Go ahead and write those down. Proximity, white space, alignment, contrast, and repetition. And I actually want you to add one more in there called hierarchy. Okay. All right. So we got proximity, white space, alignment, contrast, and repetition, and then also add hierarchy. Okay. And this is about graphic design, layout, and composition. So if I was to ask you, what are the key elements of design, layout, and composition, your answer would be proximity, white space, alignment, contrast, repetition, and hierarchy. All right.
Transform your work and sharpen your eye for design. Let's start at the top and work our way down. Proximity is all about using visual space to show relationships in your content. In practice, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is make sure related items are grouped together. For example, blocks of text or elements in a graphic. Groups that are not related to each other should be separated to visually emphasize their lack of a relationship. All in all, this makes your work easier to understand at a glance, whether it's purely text or something more visual. White space is an important part of every composition. Now, this doesn't mean literal white space. It just means negative space, like the spaces between your content, between lines, and even the outer margins. There's no one way to use white space correctly.
All right, so remember, white space does not just mean just white space on your screen. Please do not ever say that. It is, you can say extra space, right? There's a lot, when you look at a design and you see a lot of extra space, that something could go there, or if you can move the paragraph over, you know, it would look, you know, good to the eye. You know, maybe you could put in parentheses beside white space, negative space. Okay, that's another industry term for it, negative space. You will sound college educated if you're talking to a designer and you're like, oh, I don't like that negative space. They got a lot of negative space on there, or a lot of white space, which is the terms that I want you to use when we go over our classmates' projects together. All right. White space / negative space, same thing.
But it's good to understand its purpose. White space helps you define and separate different sections. It gives your content room to breathe. If your work ever starts to feel cluttered or uncomfortable, a little white space might be just what the doctor ordered. Alignment is something you deal with all the time, even if you don't realize it. Whenever you type an email or create a document, the text is aligned automatically. When aligning objects by yourself, for instance, images or separate text boxes, getting it right can be tricky. The most important thing is to be consistent. Let's take a look at what that means. It might help to imagine your content arranged inside of a grid. Notice how there's an invisible line centering each image to the text? Each grouping is also evenly spaced and aligned, with equal-sized margins. It's that attention to detail that makes the composition easier to navigate. Without consistent alignment, your work could start to feel disorganized. Contrast simply means that one item is different from another. In layout and composition, contrast can help you do many things. For example, catch the reader's eye, create emphasis, or call attention to something important. There are lots of strategies for creating contrast. You can use color, adjust the size, shape, or visual weight of an object, or use contrasting styles of text. Contrast is also closely tied to hierarchy, a visual technique that can help the viewer navigate your work. In other words, it shows them where to begin and where to go next using different levels of emphasis. Establishing hierarchy is simple. Just decide which elements you want the reader to notice first, then make them stand out. High-level or important items are usually larger, bolder, or more eye-catching in some way. Repetition is a reminder that every project should have a consistent look and feel. That means finding ways to reinforce your design by repeating or echoing certain elements. For instance, if you have a specific color palette, look for ways to carry it through. If you've chosen a special header style, use it every time. It's not just for aesthetic reasons. Being consistent can also make your work easier to read. When the viewer knows what to expect, they can relax and focus on the content. In many ways, layout and composition are the unsung heroes of design.
Okay, so layout and composition, very important, and everything that you guys are going to be doing from here on out. So, you know, especially if you are into the graphics and you're going to be dealing with the graphics, layout and composition is always going to come up. If you're creating content, any kind of visual content, layout composition is always going to come up. So, you know, these are rules that are going to go with you throughout your career, okay, throughout your career. And the one thing that I really like that, you know, the video said, the one thing that I really liked about it is that it said, think like a designer, okay? Think like a designer. Now, the unique thing about you guys in this major is that you have to think like a designer, as well as you have to think like a journalist, all right? So, you know, that's something that is just going to be a part of, you know, your lifestyle, the way the industry has gone, which you're going to have to wear multiple hats. You know, that's just what you're going to have to do. You're going to think like a designer and a journalist. So what does that mean? You're going to have to think about composition and layout, but also as well as content and writing content. And what is the story? And what is my message that I'm putting out here on this creative platform? So I'm about to play this other video. The Zoom is telling us that we're running out of time. We should not run out of time. It should keep going because we have the teacher's edition, the lecturer's edition, and because of COVID, they're basically letting everybody get extra time for free. But if just so happen it cuts off, you know, stay by your computer. I will send another email out, but we should be good, all right? This next video is, you know, and maybe in your notes put, think like a journalist, okay? Think like a journalist, because this video here is more so about the content creation, what I was telling you about, more so about making sure that you have the right content in there. Let's see, cancel, and I'm going to share my screen again, all right?
The first thing that you can see in a magazine article is a heading. A big and attractive heading can attract readers' attention and also give clue about.
Okay, so in your notes, all right, key elements to an article, okay? Key elements to an article. I said article. Article, let me articulate. It's the braces. Key elements to an article. All right, number one. All right, this kind of goes with hierarchy. Heading, all right, your heading. All right, from here on out, you know, just follow the video, but key elements to an article, magazine article, news article, anything is your heading, right? And remember, you're thinking like a journalist here. And also notice how the heading, far as like font and size, see how big the heading is, right? Compared to the rest of the page, right? That is part of what? Hierarchy, all right? Letting you know what matters first.
About the magazine article. Next, a lead. A lead is a short paragraph below the title. It summarizes the whole article in few sentences and attracts readers to continue to read. Byline. A byline tells you who writes the article. By whom is the article written? It normally comes after the lead, but sometimes you may also see a byline at the end of the article. Subheading. Subheading is the heading of each paragraph in the content. It separates paragraphs and tells you what each paragraph is about. Call out. A call out is a short piece of text that is enlarged to attract readers' attention. A call-out normally is a quote from a person who has been interviewed for the article. Graphics and photos. How can you not include graphics and photos to give visual information for an article? They are essential because they are normally the first things that readers can see. Next to a photo, usually there is a caption. A caption explains what the photo or graphic is about. A sidebar holds extra information that is not included in the article. They are normally some facts and statistics. You can also include photos, graphs, or charts inside a sidebar.
All right, so if I go back to the beginning, all right, there's a list of writing notes from this video that you have to have down. All right, so number one, your heading. Okay, number two, your lead. Okay, the lead. All right. Number three, your byline. Okay, the byline. All right, who wrote it? And for sure, those three need to be in your project. Hands down, no questions asked. That needs to be in there. Heading, lead, byline. Then we have your subheading. Okay. Subheading doesn't actually have to be in the project, but the more, the better your grade will be, the more creative you get. Okay. After that, you have the call out. All right. So most times you see the call out, it's like a quote. You know, most articles you always see it's like a quote. All right. And then you have graphics, of course. Okay. Which we're going to go over. Caption. And sidebar. All right, so graphics, caption, and your sidebar.